Gavin Chesterfield, it's great to see you at the Barri Town clubhouse as well. Back in training as well. First question's obvious. How have things been, Gav?
Great, challenging, but a good challenge. It's great just to get back on the training field, really. And I have to say, we've received some good guidance, and the staff have been fantastic. And I've got to give credit to the players as well. They've taken on board all the demands, the requirements, and all the stuff they have to do. And it's been great to see everyone get out there. Really good.
I can imagine. How different is it, or how complicated is it, I should say, setting up a training session in these circumstances?
Yeah, good challenge, eh? So at the moment, the boys complete an app every morning, which then gets sent through to our doctor, etc., to screen. That's part of the process. They arrive in different cars. They arrive in different car parks. They get tested on arrival. They sort of warm up in little pods, etc. So we have all their own water bottles, their own equipment, etc. So we're trying to minimise as much risk as possible, and I have to say it's been really good so far. It's been a really good challenge for the staff, as I mentioned earlier. But in some ways it's hard because we were isolated to small groups, in groups of 5, but in some ways that sort of lent itself to the type of work that we were doing at that stage of the pre-season. Now we're only a couple of sessions in, so it's naturally going to build up now towards more team training, and the plan is obviously to maintain as much of that sort of responsibility, if you like, for organisation as we possibly can. But obviously we do need to get to a level whereby we're preparing for a big European game. That's
coming up quickly as well. Back in training along with the 3 other clubs, of course, Connah's Quay, the New Saints and Barri, because you're all playing in Europe. The draw's coming up as well. I've written it down somewhere, 9th of August. I think the draw. Have you had a look yet at likely opponents? Because it could be Gibraltar, Faroe Islands, San Marino. Do you go that far at this point?
I'm trying to just keep abreast of it from the sides, if you like. We've got a couple of super fans, and one of our board members, Ian Johnson, he's well versed, if you like, in European football, and I really I lean on him a lot as an aid, if you like, in this circumstance. So he keeps me abreast of what the potential opponents might be. But I'll be honest with you and say at the moment the challenge has been just making sure we adhere to all the processes that we have to on the field. But Ian's been a fantastic guide in that regard, and his dad Tim as well, and really helps me and the staff. But the hard thing is, I suppose, is this time of year is, you're trying to get some footage, you're trying to get plans in place, you're trying to understand the style of each team and the characteristics, but in truth you don't know until 10 days before who you're going to be playing. So again, that's a challenge we all face.
The draw's always crucial. This time, of course, with the circumstances, it's going to be one-legged. Yeah. So what you make? I know these things have to happen, but that draw, home or away, is going to be massive all of a sudden.
Well, massive all of a sudden in terms of the football side of things, but also financially for clubs as well. I think UEFA have said that if you are drawn away, that you have to charter, and obviously the costs involved for each club then go through the roof. So you're always playing for a home draw, but I think you're playing for a home draw financially as well now. The stress on clubs at the moment is quite great, particularly financially with regards to potentially playing behind closed doors, etc. But yeah, as I said, we're all in this boat together, and it's just trying to navigate a way out of it. What I will say is the one-legged affair, I do believe, gives the Welsh teams a better chance. Anything can happen over a one-legged affair, and we're looking forward to it, and looking forward to the challenge that it comes, or as it comes. Sorry.
A few new players have arrived as well. A few very familiar faces have departed. Is it going to be a busy summer, do you think, in that sense, at Barri Town?
It's sad, mate. I don't like it when seasoned players and really good pros have moved on from the club, if you know what I mean. But that's part of the cycle of football. People do what they think is right for them, and the club has got to do what they think is right for themselves as well. But I think sometimes a small element of turnover is so important. We've done it every year. 3 or 4 going out the door, 3 or 4 coming in the door, and just keeps that natural freshness. Plus then with some younger players sort of starting to emerge through the club, it feels like a really good place at the moment. New signings have taken to training really well, really have integrated themselves really well within the group. Thankfully, they were well known to the lads anyway. They, apart from Nat, for example, they're well known to the league as well. And maybe business isn't done yet, but at the moment we're just planning with what we've got.
Well, the guys coming in, it's interesting. Michael George, Curtis Hudson returning to the club, and Nat, you mentioned, Nathaniel Jarvis, played for some big clubs. It's nice. They're all saying that they all wanted to play for Barri Town at one point. So you got new players coming in, but he seemed to be keeping the spirit of the club certainly alive.
That's so important, you know. Like if you look through those three guys, Mikey George was an academy player with us, and you know, done really well, made his debut away up at Bangor, I remember that, and done fantastically well when we won 1-0 up there. Good couple of years ago now, and he probably moved on, and that's probably my fault if I'm being honest with you. I probably should have kept him around at the time, but to his credit, he's gone out and played, you know, a lot of football for a young age at Llanelli and Penabont, and he arrives now as a bona fide first team player, you know, and really excited by him. And the same with Curtis. Curtis has sort of matured hugely since he was last with us. You know, a player that's blessed with sort of ballistic pace, if you like. And he caused us no end of troubles last year when we played against them. And just really excited to see what he can do now with some of the lads we've got around him. And look, I'll be honest with you, Nat has been a player that I've wanted for the last sort of 4 years. It's been an ongoing thing, you know. But the timing is right for him. He's just a young son living quite close to the ground, and just a really good opportunity for him now to bed in with some of his friends, but also some staff that have worked with him previously. And excited, really excited.
We are now ballistic pace. I like that one. We're going to steal that one for commentary.
Ballistic missile, yeah.
Oh, superb. As I said, Gavin, it's just great to have a quick catch up before the European draw and the European games. It's just great to see you guys back in training as football, the return of football gets that little bit closer. Has it been weird without it? I know you're very organised, you're very involved with Barri Town, you know, you're back now, but what was it like when there was no football going on?
Strange, horrible, but great. It's the longest time I've had off in football since I was a kid, I imagine. And do you know, it's great in some ways, because as a manager, you rarely get time to, I suppose, sit down, reflect, readdress what you're about, you know, put plans in place for where you see the club going, and, you know, the type of squad that you're trying to build. And do you know what? In that regard, it's been really nice. But the blessed thing out of all this horrible situation is just to have that little bit of time with the family. Whilst we haven't been able to go many places, it's just been really nice to spend some time with my wife and daughter, and feel really recharged now, and excited by the huge challenges that lie ahead, both in terms of Europe and the domestic game. But as I said, just really excited, and it feels as if it's something good building here at the moment.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time, Gavin. See you soon.
Likewise. Take care, Dil.